Hello and welcome to today's live broadcast. Today is Wednesday and we are going to be discussing fasting and menopause and women's health and how all of those things go together and how fasting can really help us benefit as women as we're going through menopause and help us deal with some of the mental health issues that we deal with, or even some of the emotional stresses that we have. So welcome if you're joining us. I do apologize if you got the notification on social media that we're talking about the Energized Sense of Calm today. That was actually Monday's conversation, and they do go pretty well together. So if you are interested in listening about the Energized Sense of Calm, I'll be referring to it a little bit today. You can definitely go back and check that video out. It is posted on my intermittent fasting playlist on YouTube, and you can find it in the video section here on Facebook as well. So if you're jumping on with us live, I always ask that you please jump in on the conversation. Please leave your comments. If this is something that is resonating with you, definitely let us know. Or if you've experienced maybe some improvement in what you feel like is your mental health condition or your emotional condition, or just how your brain is functioning, we would love to hear about that as well. And I'll share a little bit about my experience with you guys here. If you're new, please take a second to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, and that little bell notification will let you know when we go live and or upload new content. And for everyone joining us on Facebook, if you'll just hit that like button and then make sure you're set up for notifications, then you'll also be notified when I jump on live. I know a couple of you have been frustrated that you've missed us because you haven't been getting notifications, and that really is something that you just got to click a little checkbox on your Facebook page and you will get notified. My name is Diane. I am in fact an aging woman. I have suffered some mental health sort of conditions, I guess would be the best way to describe that, as I was going through perimenopause and menopause. And here in this community, we are really practicing the lifestyle of intermittent fasting and a keto-like approach to our nutrition to enable us to look and feel our best and live our most authentic life through this with us, and this is your first time. So I want to talk about mental health in the aspect of what happens to us women as we are going through this aging process and what it is that's happening to us and why it's happening. And to do that, I really need to start with what kind of hormonal changes that we're going through. I do have some note cards that I'm going to refer to so that I make sure I stay on track and don't go off onto a tangent, which I can very easily do. So please excuse me as I refer down to my notes. I do need some reading glasses, so I'll be using those as well, and I know a lot of you can appreciate that. So what I want to first say very boldly, and what we really need to understand about menopause, is that we can't really expect to find someone who is going through this stage or season of life exactly the same way we are going through it. Remember, every woman's body and chemical makeup and DNA and genetics were all designed so uniquely that we have similarities, but there are going to be some unique differences as we all go through this process of aging and hormonal change. So we always want to keep that in mind as we're doing our research and looking for people to kind of help and guide us. We really do need to understand that it is a very personal and unique journey that we are going through. Some women go through it very easily, and then some people do suffer some pretty difficult situations as they're going through perimenopause and menopause. And I think as women, we really need to be sensitive and open-hearted to that, and really embrace our girlfriends that are maybe having a more difficult time than we are, and really try to understand and be empathetic about that journey that they are on. So defined by the textbook, menopause is that time frame for a woman when she has not had a menstrual cycle for a consecutive 12-month period. And the consecutive part is held onto very tightly in the medical world. I remember when I was going through perimenopause and I thought I was in menopause, I actually had a menstrual cycle for like 1 or 2 months within like that 12-month period, and my doctor was like, nope, you got to start back over at day 1, which was like enough to cause me to go into a deep state of depression right there. But it is what it is. We can I guess classify ourselves any way we want to, but by definition it is 12 months without having a consistent or consecutive menstrual cycle. Perimenopause, on the other hand, can be, and I think is, the most torturous part of this whole journey, and that can go on for a 5 to 10 year time frame. And so I'll describe a little bit about my perimenopausal experience. I had a baby at the age of 40. I turned 40 in May. My baby was born in July. And I do feel like I went from having a baby to nursing right into perimenopause. Like there was no gap. I went right into it. And I was officially in menopause around the age of 50. So there goes my 10-year time frame. That 10 years was a crazy time frame for me. In some aspects, easy time frame for me. In some aspects, it was great, and in other aspects it was horrible. I think I experienced some really unusual things going on with my body, and I never really credited it to being perimenopausal. For some time frame, I really thought it was crazy. I had an experience. Some time frame, I really thought it was crazy. I had an experience when I went to my doctor with some of the things that I was suffering from, and I walked out with 3 prescriptions from him. One of those was an antidepressant. I never really felt depressed. I guess because I was complaining about things, he thought I was depressed. I don't know. But I was complaining about things. He thought I was depressed. I don't know. But it's a pretty common remedy for women going through menopause. It's like, here, just take this antidepressant and everything will feel happier for you. I did not ever get that prescription filled and decided to kind of go a different route and do some homeopathic type of things. But the conversation in the doctor's office was really disheartening to me, because they joked about it and really talked about how antidepressants are actually renamed now for perimenopausal women, so you don't have this stigma of being on an antidepressant. And the nurse in the doctor's office actually said to me, just go home and start taking these and don't say anything to anybody and see if people just enjoy being around you more. And I thought, well, F you, people just enjoy being around you more. And I thought, well, F you, like, I'm allowed to have like bad days, and I'm allowed to be grumpy. Like, I should be able to go through this process the way I need to go through it, and I don't have to be drugged up to be able to get by. Now, I do understand that there are women who do need antidepressants. And I think that that's fantastic, and you have to do what you have to do. But it's just been that thing for me that I just didn't want to have to go that route if I didn't have to go that route. And so I turned to diet and exercise as a way to kind of get me through without having to rely on antidepressants. So were there days were there days where I was miserable and moody and depressed? Yeah, there were definitely those days, but I just feel like as a woman, I'm allowed to have those days. And so I kind of took that approach, but I thought it was funny that my doctor's office kind of delivered it to me in that way. So a 5 to 10 year period where things are kind of going wonky on us, and we don't really understand what they are. We're led to believe, society-wise, that we're crazy, that we should just suck it up, and I don't believe that we should do that. I think we should really educate society, and that we should really give ourselves the grace that we deserve. If you think about what women go through in their time span, like we go from young girls to young adolescents, going through puberty, which is torturous in itself, and then we get to that stage where we try everything we can to do to not have kids, and then we finally get married and we try everything we do to can have kids. Some of us suffer miscarriages and infertility seasons, and then we end up having babies, and then our bodies are kind of torn apart in a mess for a while, and then breastfeeding is a whole nother challenge, and then we finally get our bodies back and our life back, and boom, we have another baby, and we go through that cycle again, and then before you know it, you're in perimenopause. And so it's like, I don't know, I think we should be allowed to have a bad day or two, or be grumpy about it, or even be bummed out about it a little bit. about it a little bit. But I do also think that we need to take a proactive and educational approach to figuring out how we can get through it with some grace. So hopefully we'll be able to provide you with some of that here. So 5 to 10 years is that perimenopausal part can be, and that is really that perimenopausal part can be, and that is really when our estrogen levels start to do that natural decline, and a lot of other things start to go on a natural decline as well. So our hormones, we know we talk about them a lot here, are messengers to stop, start, speed up, slow down, messengers to stop, start, speed up, slow down, or just basically change physical and chemical functions in our body. And I know if you're in perimenopause or you're menopausal, you understand exactly what I'm talking about with that, because things just do start to change, and there are some things we just don't have control over, and that I think is the most frustrating part. One being the fact that I cannot read without reading glasses, and I've always had perfect vision, and that was that thing that I fought for the longest time. And it's just part of hormonal changes that are going on in my body, and I know every woman who's going through those has a fancy pair of readers, close at hand, so that you can actually, read the menu or whatever it is that you're trying to read in the course of your day. So there are those physical and chemical changes that do go on. So our ovaries are the primary source of our estrogen and progesterone, and we know that those are the two key hormones that we women use for fertility and all of the feminine things that we have going on. And I know a lot of women also experience hysterectomies, and they have their hormones removed, and so that's that thing where you're just kind of forced into those hormones just not being there anymore. And that could be a really devastating experience for women if you're not prepared or educated for that in the right way, because things just start to go on the rapid decline, and you don't know what the heck you're supposed to do. So during menopause, estrogen depletion can bring on a combination of hormonal and biochemical fluctuations that can lead to changes in the brain and the nervous system. So again, these are things that we're all feeling, but if we don't really think about it in the chemical aspect of things, it can seem really frustrating. And I know for me, when I was going through the last stages of perimenopause and those beginning stages of menopause, I literally thought I was going crazy, like not even exaggerating about the crazy part of things. And I've shared here before where, I couldn't remember where I parked my car, and to this day, I couldn't remember where I parked my car, and to this day, my kids know this too, and they're probably going to do this when they're adults, is I always park my car when I'm out shopping right next to a cart return. It doesn't matter where in the parking lot it is, but it's always right next to a cart return. So worst case scenario, I just have to check every cart return area, and my car should be there. And that was the system that I developed when I was losing my mind, and I would go shopping and I couldn't remember where I parked my car. It was scary. I would go up and down every aisle, and I'd be in a cold sweat, and I looked panicky, I'm sure, and people always stopped to offer to help me, and I didn't even know how to ask for help, and it was scary. I didn't know where my keys were. I never knew where my phone was, and the clincher to it was when I couldn't remember my own kids' names. I would be in a conversation with them, looking them dead on in their face, and I couldn't get their name out of my mouth. And that's really when I felt like I was losing my mind. Now I know that was just part of the hormonal and chemical changes that were going on in my body, and I don't suffer those things anymore. I still do park by a cart return because it's just an easy system for parking, but it's scary, and you do feel like you're crazy, and no one else understands it unless they have gone through it or they're going through it themselves. So it is really hard to get, or they're going through it themselves. So it is really hard to get compassion or understanding from people in the medical field, because they, especially if it's a man, maybe if it's a woman who's going through menopause, she might be a little bit more empathetic about it, but it's hard for people to understand that, because there's no way to really explain that fear of being crazy or losing your mind unless you've actually experienced it. And it's a very real thing. Now, the good news is you can get it back. And we'll talk about that a little bit on the end. So if you're going through that, you're not going crazy. It is a very typical and normal thing. And so if you're going through that, you're not going crazy. It is a very typical and normal thing. And a lot of those things are really the things that are creating those mood swings for us, right? So I know if I would go shopping and I would lose my car and I would feel like I was losing my mind. I can remember feel like I was losing my mind. I can remember being panicked all the way home and just being depressed when I got home. And then I'm no good to anyone. I'm not a good mom. I'm not a good wife. I'm snappy. I'm scared. You know, I don't know really how to articulate what it was I went through. I'm a little embarrassed. And so those can be the reasons why we go through these mood swings. Do we need antidepressants for that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people that will be beneficial to them. But I don't believe that you should always cover up those symptoms with a quick fix prescription when we know now that there are alternative ways to do that. So we'll talk about that a little bit in the end. So is there the connection between menopause and depression? So let's think about some things that happen to us women when we are in this season of life. So I'm going to just pick up an age span. For some women, perimenopause can start at the earliest, like in their 30s. Let's say 35 to like 55, 60. Let's talk about that range of age where there's a change. Now, I think most women by the age of 60 on, you're probably in menopause or postmenopausal. I'm 52, I'm postmenopausal. But let's think about the change and as it's happening. And if you're not aware of what you can do to change it. So you're just stuck in frustration and life's happening. So you're losing your cognitive abilities, your body's probably putting on weight that you can't control, your skin is starting to change because collagen is also no longer being produced the way it was in your body, your human growth hormone factor is decreasing, a lot of your hormones are changing, so even some of the intimate sort of things we feel as women start to decrease, and we feel frustrated about that, and we know other people feel frustrated about that as well. The way you look changes, you need reading glasses now. Like, there's all these things that are happening and they're all being taken away. Then let's add on some other seasonal things that can happen in this time frame. For a lot of women, especially on the latter part of going through menopause, and that age season, you could be having relationship changes. Maybe a divorce is happening, or loss of friends, or maybe you're an empty nester because your kids are grown and they're moving off to college. Maybe you're having a career change, or maybe you're going back into the career field because now you don't have to take care of kids anymore. Maybe there's some financial struggles that you have going on in your relationship or in your household. Maybe you decided to move. Maybe your husband's retiring, and now this home that you've always had to yourself, and you've run it the way you wanted to run it without interference, now there's this human that's there with you all the time. And although that's a great thing, it's still a disruption in what you have as your normal day or your normal pattern. There's some relationship things, like I said, maybe girlfriends, some of those things are changing. Maybe you have aging parents that are moving in and living with you, or you have aging parents somewhere else that you're worried about. Maybe you have someone in your family that is sick or need your help. And then let's add on the good old social media or social pressures of not wanting to age, or not feeling like you're going to be accepted anymore if you start going through some of these physical changes, and how that really is something that could cause us to be depressed about. And so, is menopause the reason for depression, or is it a culmination of things, including life happening to us and not having control over our own body, or not feeling like we have control over our own body? And this is where I really feel like Intermittent fasting is that just golden ticket for us, and the tool that we can utilize to get some of these things back. I share all the time here my story of what I went through when I was going through perimenopause and menopause, and I suffered everything that I talked about: the weight gain, the fat gain, inability to lose weight, becoming pre-diabetic. I was sick in a lot of other ways as well, and the memory was gone. Lots of other things were going. I'd look at my skin and go, what the heck happened to me? Why is my skin changing so rapidly? Why can't I read anything without glasses anymore? And it was depressing. Along with that, we moved from California to Texas, which was a great thing, but nonetheless, it's a change. All my girlfriends were gone. I didn't know anybody at Target anymore. Like, all of these things were happening around the same time. And when I found a way to get some of the physical things back, I really did start to feel like I got some of the mental and emotional things back as well, and was able to find my joy again and the happiness that I now have with my body and the life that I live. And so I don't think that we have to just kind of roll over and succumb to what menopause is described for us to be. I do think we have an opportunity to make it what we want it to be. And yes, there are some things that I can't change, but I'm embracing it in a much different way now, because my mindset about it is so much healthier, in the fact that I can do some things now that will put me in a place where I can regain some of the things I've lost. So my memory's great. I know a lot of you here have experienced the same thing. I was able to control my weight. I'm now at a place where I'm happy with my body. And I'm actually happier in a lot of ways now that I wasn't before. And I do believe that it is what we're practicing here with fasting that has really helped that, because we know now scientifically that intermittent fasting does help you clear up a lot of that foggy and heaviness in your brain, and it does allow you to live in that energized sense of calm. We talked about that on Monday. If you didn't catch Monday's discussion, go back and watch that. In that sense of livelihood and vibrance that you want to live your life with, that sense of hopefulness about your future, that energized feeling that you get from your body utilizing your own energy sources to get you through the day, but being able to do it with a sense of calm and peace. And I think that's really what has helped for me, especially the moody and depressive part of things, in the fact that I just feel most of the time pretty chilled out. Now, do I still get moody? Absolutely. Do I still get mad about things? Yeah, part of that's just my personality. I'm a quick moving person. I'm a hot-headed person. I speak my mind. That will never change. That has nothing to do with menopause. But I also know now that I can control that deep inner sad feeling, and I can control that deep inner sort of lost feeling that I had when I wasn't in control of where my body was going. So I do believe that intermittent fasting can be that thing that can help us get through some of these season life changes that happen to us. They oftentimes happen to us when we don't expect it. I know, this is a prime time for a lot of women, unfortunately, to go through relationship changes, and again, that change of life when your kids are, moving out and becoming adults on their own, which is an amazing thing in one sense, that we've created these human beings inside of our body, and we've raised them to go out and be responsible, independent human beings on their own. But there's a sense of loss to that as well, because our primary job for most of us is to care for those human beings, and then they leave, and it's almost like we're not needed anymore. And so we have to figure out how to find our place in a world where we find a new purpose. And I know for a lot of women, you can have an opportunity to get out and start a career, or do the things in your life that you feel passionate about that maybe you didn't have the time and the resources for before. So definitely make sure you're looking into some of those things. If you're suffering from perimenopause or menopause, the thing I want you to take away from this is, one, you are not crazy. Those are real feelings. They are real things that are happening to you. And I want to give you a sense of hope that it gets better, but it doesn't get better on its own. You do have to be pretty proactive about looking at your life and looking at your lifestyle and asking yourself what's working for you and what's not working for you, and create some changes for yourself. And what we are finding in this community here, that lifestyle changes And nutritional changes can be a great combination to get yourself back on track. And what I really try to emphasize here in this community is you have to do the work on your emotional and mental state as well with where you are today, and be happy and grateful for the body that God gave you and where you are with that body today, and embrace all of the history that you've had to get you where you are. We don't want to keep chasing that 20-year-old body. We don't want to chase that 20-year-old lifestyle, because guess what? You weren't happy with that either. You weren't happy with that in your 20s. And find a way to just be mature and happy and peaceful with where we are today, and grateful for all the good that our body has done for us and will continue to do for us if we treat it kindly and we do create a lifestyle where we can plan to age successfully. And that is really what we're focusing on here in this community. So I'm super excited to hear your guys' comments, or read your guys' comments in the comment section. Please feel free to share your experience. If you're struggling, let us know. We are an amazing community of very open-hearted women here. We would love to give you a little boost of confidence or support as you leave us here today, and let you know that it's going to be okay. We're always very non-judgmental here, so if you have something you'd want to share, or something that you want to reach out for some help, please feel free to do that here today, and we'll see what we can do to get you on track. Amy's here. Welcome. Connie is here. Good afternoon to you too, girlfriend. Alicia, North Carolina, is in the house. Nicole, girlfriend, haven't seen your face in a while. It's nice to see you. Diane from Pennsylvania is here. Christy, hello. Patty is here. Good to see you too, Patty. Let's see. Christy was saying hello to someone in the February course. It is awesome. Thanks for saying that, Christy. Cindy from Maine, can I ask what you do for sleep? I am an alternate day fasting, but have such a hard time sleeping on the first days. I would love some advice. I do take magnesium at night before bed. I'm 50 and love alternate day fasting. So the first thing I have to tell you, Cindy, is alternate day fasting is nothing I have experience with. I am a sort of regimented person. Alternate day fasting to me seems like something that would be too much mental work for me, so I don't have any experience with that. And so with my experience, the first thing I would say is I would try a different fasting system if it's making you not be able to sleep. It could also be something that you're doing in your feasting window, or maybe you're just not getting enough carbs. I mean, there's a couple different factors that are in there. Like I said, I don't have any experience with alternate day fasting. I fast every day. And so I would say play around with what you're doing in your feast probably would be the first bit of advice I can give you. Christina, when I started eating healthy and intermittent fasting, I don't have hot flashes. Yeah, exactly. So those are those things that a lot of doctors are really quick to jump on. And I was just at our walk-in clinic for some stuff I had going on with my eyes the other day. And I made a comment because it was so like gross, I guess, how much they were advertising this. It was so obnoxious, I guess is the better word. But the hormone replacement therapy was all over, like the back of the doors. There was big banners everywhere. And I'm like, it's a family walk-in clinic. It's not like it's a, you know, OBGYN office. Everybody's walking in here, but they were pushing those things hard. And I was like, God, you guys' signs are a little obnoxious in here. And even the one of the nurses that was there, he was like, yeah, I kind of agree. It's a little over the top. And I was like, God, how sad, like that women think that that's the only option. And yes, for some women, it is the only option. And I always am very appreciative of that. But consider doing some other things. Like a lot of times our hormonal imbalance, even when we're on the decline of hormones, does come from what we're doing in our nutrition and what we've done in our past. And if we can clear up what we've done in our past through simple fasting, and we can improve what we're doing in our feasting, what if we don't have to resort to some of those pharmaceuticals which just cover up symptoms and they don't fix them? So what we want to do is fix the symptoms so we know where our baseline is, and then we have options to add on things that we feel are necessary. But if you don't know what your baseline is and you don't know what you can do without the interference of food chemical changes and past things that we've done to our systems with things, then you don't know where to start. So I always recommend getting yourself to a baseline first. The best way to do that is fasting and feasting, and then figure out what kind of things you need to add on to improve what it is you're going through. So So yeah, we want to make sure that we are doing that for sure. So hot flashes are definitely a symptom. Insomnia is a symptom. Leg cramps are a symptom. Moodiness is a symptom. Weight gain is a symptom. Fat increasing on your body in places you never thought you had it before can be a symptom. All of those things are symptoms, but we want to get rid of the symptoms. We don't want to cover them up with something else. Let's see. Michelle from October course, good to have you with us. Lisa's here. Christina, I have to take melatonin, otherwise I can't fall asleep. Any advice? I do intermittent fasting and eating healthy. So the only experience I have with melatonin is it makes me stay awake. It doesn't help me sleep. So I would say, I don't know how long you've been taking melatonin, so I would say maybe take a break from taking that. Cut out caffeine totally, cut off any kind of screen usage, maybe an hour before you go to bed. See if you can maybe read a book or something, and watch how much sugar or carbohydrates you have later in the evening and see if that helps for you as well. Lori, yay, caught you live. November fasting course, Portland, Oregon. I still have occasional night sweats if I let myself go have too much sugar. Yeah, so sugar is really the cause of the night sweats. So if you have night sweats and insomnia and those things and you go complain to your doctor, they're going to give you something to cover up those symptoms, when the reality is you just need to pull back on your sugar. And the problem, again, here's a societal thing, is that society tells us women that we deserve to drink wine every night because we are just getting so much done in the day that you deserve to end your night with a glass or two or a bottle of wine. I used to be that woman. That's when I was having really bad problems. So if you find that you're that woman and you're not sleeping well at night or you're having hot flashes, cut the wine out for a little while and see if that will help you get to sleep as well. Sue is here in the February course. Welcome, enjoying learning. Good for you, girlfriend, for doing the work. Lulu G, weight gain during this time is terrible. Yes, it is, but it doesn't have to be. You just have to make sure you get your hormones in balance, and then the weight will start to come off. Remember, we know now through scientific studies that weight loss and weight gain is not the cause and effect of calories in and calories out. It's because of hormonal imbalance. So get your hormones in balance, and then your body will be able to let go of the weight. And I'm definitely a billboard for that, for sure. Becky, last baby at 42 and totally felt like I was crazy, and now at 53 some days still too. Well, a girlfriend, you have a teenager in your house, so yes, you're going to feel crazy. That's part of the season of life that you're in now too. So we also have to stop and think about the season of life we're in and the responsibilities that we have as women. And today we're taking on so much. We're still the primary caregivers for most of us in our home, and we're career women, and we're this, and we're that. You're going to feel a little crazy. So look at your schedule, look at your commitments. Are you saying yes to too many things? And maybe you just need to clear your plate a little bit and give yourself a little bit of downtime. Patty, I do better with hot flashes if I don't eat sugar and cut back on caffeine. Exactly. Exercise will help with sleeping, anxiety, and depression. IF has helped me out so much. I haven't had to take anything for my anxiety and depression. I do seem to get something bothering me. So she takes something else. Yeah, for sure. So Patty is our February course member as well. Cynthia, finally catching you live. Love your energy and your positive spirit. You always keep it real. Thanks so much, Cynthia. RG's here. Wendy, exercise is key to my postmenopausal sanity, for sure. And I took a year off of exercise to let my body heal itself. So if you feel like you need to do that, remember to do that. Remember, exercise is supposed to be of benefit to us. We had a live, I think it was last week, about using exercise as a punishment and why we do that to ourselves. And I felt totally fine taking a year off of exercise completely and really let my body heal myself. And when I was healed, I jumped right back in like I didn't skip a beat. So don't ever be afraid to take care of your body if you need to slow down a little bit as well. And then when you jump back in, you're going to be loving it and doing it for all the right reasons, for sure. Patty, when I started perimenopause, I read a book called Holy Hormones. Yeah, there's lots of books out there for sure. Cynthia, August 2018 grad. Christy, I have been using bioidentical hormone replacement because hot flashes got debilitating. Yeah, and so if you have to do that, you have to do that. And first, like I said, bioidentical hormones are those things that are a very personal choice for each individual woman. For me, I have a family history of blood clotting due to hormonal changes, and the doctors believe that was the reason I had a miscarriage when I was 38, was blood clotting. And I had to take blood thinners when I was pregnant at 40 to make sure that I didn't have another miscarriage. I had a very late miscarriage. It was 4 months into my pregnancy. And so I have a family history taking any kind of hormones in any form. I've been advised not to, that it could be like the precursor to death for me. So I don't want to go there. So I had to find alternate ways to manage my perimenopause and menopause, and I've found them, and it's really working for me with me not having to do that. Now, not everyone has my family history, and for some women, bioidentical hormones work well. So I say you have to find your way and then just be comfortable with the cause and effects of what it is you're doing. I know that there's a lot of women who get really great benefits from bioidentical hormones, and I'm always like, I wonder if and then I go, nope, I don't want to go to sleep every night worrying if something bad's going to happen to me, when I know if I just put in the work for me and my body chemistry, I'll be fine. So you got to do what you got to do for you, for sure. Teresa, July grad, I still have an occasional night sweats, more manageable now that I intermittent fast. Yeah, and you know what? My life's not perfect either. So there are some times where I have a restless night. That's life. Like, my body is just a constantly changing and adjusting machine. And so there's going to be nights I still have a restless night. There's going to be nights when I wake up sweaty. Like, that's just how it is. It's not perfect, but it's so much better than it ever was before. And so I always rest on that. Like, I know even if I have a night sweat night, I'm going to wake up feeling great, or I'm going to have a great day. Where before they were so consistent that you become so sleep deprived that no matter what you do, you're not going to have a good day. And so we want to make sure we stay away from that for sure. Cynthia, readers in every single room, purse, car, workplace. Girlfriend, I got you. I've got about 50 pair. If you ever need readers really cheap, Costco has them. I think you get like a 4-pack for $20 or something, and they're super cute. So definitely look into that if you need to. Teresa, my moods and mental clarity are so much better now too. Yep, me too. Cynthia, I'm 54 and was told I just started perimenopause roughly 1 year ago. Listening to your stories about feeling like you are losing your mind really resonates with me. I also am easily irritated and just not feeling myself, but I keep plugging away with my eye off and healthy lifestyle if my body doesn't want to cooperate with my efforts. Yeah, and Cynthia, here's the good news for you. You're going to come out of the other end of that and go from perimenopause to menopause by feeling fantastic. So you've got a head start on a lot of women who don't do it the way you're doing it, or didn't know to do it the way you're doing it. So congratulations to you. I can't wait to see how your journey ends up. Diana started menopause at 35. It was horrible. Yeah, so you're one of those people that I was just referring to in that large age gap. Perimenopause, when you think about it lasting 10 years, can start in your 40s. It can start in your 30s. I know some people who are in menopause in their early 30s. We just never know when these changes are going to happen to us. So, just really get to, I say this a lot, have a really intimate relationship with your own body. So when something changes, you feel it, and you know that something made a shift, and then you can always do some research or go get it checked out for sure. Patty, I wish I knew for sure when I started perimenopause. I remember getting upset a lot in my 30s, and I wish I had a life-changing event, leaving my career and moving to a new city when I was 47 years old. Yeah, you're probably going through it all that time for sure. And then Chinaway, just joining, welcome for sure. Let's see. I got a couple. God, we got a lot of comments. I love it on Facebook. Lucy, hello. Karen, wow, I can't believe I came across you at this moment. I just got off the phone from my daughters who were encouraging me to see a psychologist for my emotional state. I felt gutted as I'm 99% confident, healthy mother, but I do get emotional sometimes. Have moved house away from family and friends, started a new wellness clinic, no kids at home, daughter moved overseas, have sailed through transition of menopause apart from a little, girlfriend, you're going through all the seasonal stuff, but they made me feel like I should not be that way. Thank you for stating lots of things that I could do. Yeah, girlfriend, for sure. Check in with yourself. Your daughters are seeing a change in you. So you're not the same mom you were to them when they were younger. So they're seeing that change in you, and they probably don't understand it because they're younger. So find a network of women, and you're welcome to hang out here with us. Find a network of women who are going through the same things that you are, so you guys can kind of share stories a little bit. And that really did help me sharing here openly in this community, I got a lot of feedback from women that are like, oh, I went through the same thing. And that does really help you feel a little bit more normal, knowing that other women in your age group are going through the same thing. And you've had a lot of hormone or seasonal life changes that are super stressful. And remember, when we go through stress, that causes chemical changes hormonally in our body as well. So your hormones are like going all over the place. So just check in with yourself, make sure you're okay, seek some guidance if maybe you need it. I would say I'm a therapy fan for sure. If you can find a good one, get some really good personal development books that you can sink your teeth into. That will help too. Just some really good positive motivational things, podcasts, positive affirmations, all those things really do work. But girlfriend, you are not crazy. You're just going through some changes, so don't worry about that. And then Julie, clean fasting turned my symptoms around. Thanks for all you do. You're welcome. Patty, bye everyone. I have to head out. Thanks for joining us, Patty. Okay, so if you guys don't mind hanging out, I'm gonna read all my YouTube.
YouTube was glitchy earlier.
Okay, so I'll read all these YouTube things and stick around and see if there's something that might resonate with you. Jennifer, hello. Lori, hello. Maria, good to have you. Anna, hello. Jennifer, hello. Patty, IF has been the only thing that took that menopause weight off. Weight loss is just a side benefit now. IFing is so beneficial in so many ways. Okay, I'm done. Girlfriend, you don't have to be done. That's all great stuff. Yeah, so the thing we want to think about with intermittent fasting, and I try to really beat this in here as much as I can, is don't look at intermittent fasting as a weight loss. If you look at intermittent fasting as a weight loss, you've just jumped into yet another diet. We don't want a diet. Intermittent fasting is a way to balance out your hormones and to help your body go into a state of self-healing, which your body is designed to do. When you look at intermittent fasting through that lens, you take the pressure off, right? Because you'll see and you'll feel the healing benefits within days. My February intermittent fasting for today's AJ Woman course members were posting that they were seeing and feeling positive changes by the second and third day. We got results by the second day. Second day, 2 days in. Now, if we were geared toward weight loss, do you know how discouraged and depressed those women would be? Because weight doesn't come off until everything else is balanced out and healed. So if you're going into something with the dieter's mindset and all you're after is weight loss, you will be disappointed and you'll jump off the bandwagon and you'll never see and feel the benefits. So go into intermittent fasting, and if you're in my course, we emphasize this heavily. Look and feel for the results, and they'll be there instantaneously as soon as you start to make a change. Then time and consistency with what I teach you will get you the weight loss. But you have to have the time and consistency part, and I promise you, you'll never have to diet again. And that is really the big goal that we're looking for here. Okay, let's see. Greetings from the UK. What do you think of seed cycling? It's supposed to help with hormones. Girlfriend, I am so simple when it comes to life right now. The thought of having to cycle seeds is mentally exhausting to me. I know a lot of people are doing it for fertility reasons and stuff like that. So I say, if that's your jam and you think it'll work for you, I say go for it. I just don't have the time and energy to cycle through seeds. It's just way too much work for me at this stage in life for sure. Leanne from Georgia, hello. Pharrell, hello from Dallas. Girlfriend, you're right around the corner. Sheila, hello. Miss Klein from North Carolina. Lisa, did the course last summer, but struggling now with giving up. Girlfriend, don't you dare give up. Go back to your course. You have access to your course. I give you lifetime access. Go back to day one and go back through the course as if you were a new member. And hit those lessons and get that energy and excitement back about intermittent fasting. But girlfriend, don't you give up. You deserve more than that, and you put too much work in. So hit those courses again. Sugar and that feeling tired, so eat more carbs. Any advice? Yeah, don't eat sugar and don't eat carbs. Carbs don't make you not tired. A good night's sleep makes you not tired, and carbs will make you not get a good night's sleep. So you're in this vicious cycle. Eat good food. Eat food that's going to make you look and feel your best. And if sugar and carbs aren't making you look and feel your best, don't eat them. And I know that sounds like I don't want to sound cold or crass, but just don't eat them. You have the power to make that decision for yourself, and you already know it's not making you feel good. So just don't eat them. Find other things to eat. Eat a big bowl of vegetables. Sheila, since we started IF, I lost 8 pounds. A1C dropped from a 10 to a 6. I've been sleeping 8 hours, whereas I had to take sleeping pills to sleep during my days, but no more pills. Also, metformin dropped from 2 to 1. You, my girlfriend, are a perfect example of why we are sharing this information here and practicing intermittent fasting. So congratulations for you for putting in the work and the time and consistency to get those results. I'm super proud of you, and you're very welcome. Jennifer, can IF help me lose weight even though I'm on the pill? It would probably help with what some of the side effects of taking the pill are. So I would say it can't hurt you. Will it help you lose weight when you're on the pill? I don't know that because I don't really teach intermittent fasting for weight loss. So I would say it wouldn't hurt you to give it a try and see kind of what happens to it. But the pill is controlling your cycle, so that might be one of those things you might not be able to help. Sheila, I'm on the February 2nd class. Good for you, girlfriend. So girlfriend is getting amazing results, and she's in the February class. And I'm sure she's been fasting before that, so it's just helping. Miss Klein, dollar store for reading glasses there, $1, and they're really cute. Well, there you go. And Sheila, by the way, I'm doing 20 hours of 24 and 2022, 22-2, feeling so different and energetic. Yeah, awesome, girlfriend. And I say if that system seems to be working for you because of the results that you're getting, stick with it. And then when you really get to that point where you're happy with your health results, then you can kind of play around with it a little bit. And then Lisa, thank you so much, Diane. You made me cry, but happy tears. Yay, I love it. Love happy tears for sure. And girlfriend, you're worth it. It's all about what decisions you make for yourself. And if you're not feeling good, make better decisions. It is just that simple. And I share a lot on my Instagram page, and I post a lot on my Facebook page, but mostly my stories. Like, I have a pretty nice nutritional life. I have a really nice flexible feasting window. I don't eliminate all the things that make me happy. That's the authentic living part. I eat chips, I eat salsa. Last night I had a hazelnut chocolate bar. I just make sure that the ingredients in the food that I eat aren't going to set my hormones out of balance and make me not feel good. So you can add in fun food with this too. The most important thing is to understand what food chemicals do to you and what ones you should stay away from, and you have to go through a series of testing that, and that is what we teach in the course. So if you're suffering, get back in your course or jump into a course with us, and we will help you for sure. Julie, clean. Oh, I think I already got that one. Okay, we got a couple more comments here on Facebook I'll read. Denise, good to have you with us, girlfriend. Roseanne, can you please talk about PMDD, because it really makes the menopausal transition just that much harder. What's PMDD? Explain to me what PMDD is. And then Karen, hi from Florida, February 2019 class. Yeah, so all you women who jumped on who are suffering, don't suffer. I really do try to teach you how to manage a life that you can live authentically so that you can look and feel your best. Our course is 3 weeks long. We have a lot of members and graduates on here who will attest to the fact that the class is super easy. You're going to learn a lot, and you can really develop a lifestyle for yourself that will be transformational for sure. And our goal is to all age successfully. I want to hang out with y'all. As long as there's Facebook Live and YouTube Live, I want to hang out with y'all in my 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like, I hope we're still meeting up, 20, 30 years down the road, and we have some great stories that we could tell about all the amazing adventures and memories we're creating with our family and all the things we get to do with our grandkids and possibly great-grandkids. And that's really what we should be excited about, and that's what we should be making decisions for, is how do we want to live tomorrow and beyond? And are we making the decisions that are going to get us there? And are we creating a lifestyle that's going to do that for us? So I've been talking way too long today. I appreciate you guys being here. This is something that really is, it fires me up, and I'm super passionate about, because I do believe every woman has the right to feel good every day and should have the education and the opportunity to make informed decisions about how she wants to live her life in her body with all the changes that are going on. And sometimes we just got to slow down and give ourselves a little bit of grace and understand what it is that we're demanding of ourselves as women living in 2019. We have a lot of demands on us. We have a lot of responsibilities, and they can break us down and wear us out. And so we have to make sure that we're doing the work on our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, and our physical health. It is a complete package. And the more we get a hold on those things and really understand the chemical processes that are going on, and pause to take inventory about some of the other life changes that happen to go on with us in this season, we can really start to make some decisions that will allow us the opportunity to no longer break ourselves down, but to live a very energetic and happy life. So always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. If you're interested in joining the course, I believe we have links in the comment section. I highly encourage you to jump in. Don't suffer anymore. I will take good care of you. We have a community of women that are super supportive, non-judgmental, and are always super willing to share their experiences and stories as well, so you don't have to feel like you're alone in this process. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Friday, we're going to be going live again, and we're going to be talking about the health benefits of the supplement L-lysine. I've talked about it before here. I'm going to talk about my current experience with using L-lysine and offer some information for you guys as well that hopefully you'll be able to use in the future if you need it. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Have a